This is the kind of shaft or swing direction part back here. We've got the rotation piece, and we're gonna kind of just follow the same procedure, but with them together. And so I'm gonna take my normal setup position, and same sort of piece as when I'm practicing, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna feel where the shaft goes in space, and I'm gonna get a sensation that that stick is getting back to this stick, for me in the rehearsal, well before the ball gets there.
Yes.
But then when I'm actually doing it, feeling like it's getting there about the same time or before the
slightly before the ball, before the club hits the ball.
So let's do one more rehearsal, and then we'll put these pieces together. So under this stick, and then the little rotation piece. Yeah, good, and that one felt good for me too. Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about the best combo drill that I've ever seen. And we're gonna bring Milo from Golfletics in here to help us talk about this. But before we dive into that, two quick things. Number one, we have launched our golf schools for this year in Bethlehem, PA, 2-day golf schools. If you'd like to come hang out and work on your game with me and the coaches, we would love to have you. We'll put a link in the description down below for that. If you can't make it to in-person coaching, I would still love to work with you on your game, regardless where you're at. Have you send me your swing video so I can help you and take your game to the next level. And you can do that at cogornogolf.com. Most importantly, as a member, you get access to our Facebook group, which is the gold, where you can post those swings and become part of our team. You also get access to everything on the site, including the master classes, the quick fix section, practice section, and a lot more, guys. I'll put a link for Cogorno Golf down below. Now, before Milo and I dive into this combo drill, let's take a quick look at Analyzer so you can see some players doing what we're about to talk about. Okay, so let's take a look here at two of the three pieces. And if we watch just in general, we have Hideki Matsuyama from down the line. What you're gonna see is the club shaft shallowing while the hips are rotating. And those are the pieces we see as commonality amongst great ball strikers. The shaft shallows or swings from the inside as the hips are rotating. Some of the checkpoints we would use here would be by the time the lead arm gets parallel to the ground during the downswing here, if we draw a line down the shaft, the butt of the club being at or just outside ball line, hips are pretty close to square to the target there. The club head will be just inside the hands at last parallel, with the hips continuing to rotate there. And if we work from to impact, the hips continue to rotate open to the left, while here you'll see the club will drop underneath the red line, continue to swing from the inside as the hips rotate. And if we take a look here at another player, let's get Adam Scott down the line. Same sort of pieces. If we get him to the top, during the downswing, in general, big picture, club shaft is shallowing as his hips are opening. So rotation of the pelvis as you shallow the club. Again, looking at the same checkpoints, lead arm parallel, getting the butt of the club at or outside the ball line. Hips are pretty close to square. The club's going to go underneath the line and be just inside of his hands at last parallel right there. Hips continue to rotate, club works from inside. So the club will go underneath the red line as the hips continue to turn. Those are two big pieces that the best players do. All right, guys, so you just saw the video there of the analyzer of what we're gonna talk about now. Mr. Milo, I think in general, as a blanket statement, and this being the best combo drill I've ever seen, if any golfer came in, and let's try and keep things somewhat simple and say they shoot over 80 or over 90 certainly, and we said, hey, without seeing their swing, what are really the top like 3 things we could do, or a handful of things we could do with all of them to take their game to the next level, really reach their potential? What would you say those 3 things are?
Number one is get the face in a position where we can manage it.
Club face first.
Number 2 would probably be to get the shaft in a position where we can now turn on the rotation, which is the 3rd one.
Shaft 2, rotation 3. Let's say that just one more time, just in case. Club face first, in position, just not open to whatever. Shaft second, in space, rotation 3rd, as a general blanket statement. Yep. And we both feel exactly the same way, and we have talked about this in videos of past. We're not gonna do the club face part, because we've done 9 million videos on that portion of this, but we are gonna do the shaft and the rotation part, and specifically this combo drill, which I've seen different phases, but I saw you doing on Instagram, and we'll do a little link here to the Instagram, was combining those 2 pieces together. And I really thought to myself, man, if I could take that golfer from 80 plus and I couldn't see their swing and I could do one drill one drill for them to do to combine them, this would be it. So I just propped that all up there. Let's talk about the first part of this combo drill, which is for where the shaft would be in space.
So the way I set this up is, first thing is like put in a target line, which we already have.
Yep.
Then I'm going to drop this back about 2 or 3 feet off the ball and go 4 or 5 inches outside the target line. And then I'm going to try to match the plane of the alignment rod to your shaft, more or less.
So that's super simple. 2 to 3 feet back, 4 to 5 inches out, and roughly the same angle as my shaft.
Exactly.
Got it. And that's like a point of reference.
It's a point of reference. It's there just to give you some feedback. You shouldn't hit it.
Yeah.
And we'll start slow so you don't hit it.
Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And so I'm probably doing, you know, like 9/8 7-iron again.
Yeah.
You know, shortest mill, not going nuts here. And as I'm starting this, right, and this is for that number 2 part we had on there. We already managed the face, went through those pieces. I'm trying to kind of feel and get the shaft in a certain spot in space. And so as a checkpoint that we talked about as we come down, you know, as I'm working down into left arm parallel where my shaft is can be important, and then kind of down into last parallel. Some general checkpoints, like where you would like to see the shaft at last parallel for this?
Yeah. So at last parallel, I'd like to see the shaft, you know, relatively close to your toe line.
Yep.
Maybe just inside the hands.
Yep. And so that, like if they were to kind of, if there was a line here, right?
Yeah.
For example, where that shaft is at, we're talking about having that club head on or just kind of slightly inside.
Yeah,
That's
on
a
or
stock.
just slightly inside the line as a general stock model.
And
That should produce little draws.
Yeah, exactly. And it puts your shaft in a place where we're going to be able to do number 3, which is the rotation part. And so I got my 9-iron here. I'm going to go a little bit shorter to start with. And Milo, when I'm starting this, I'm just kind of, you know, maybe left arm parallel at most. Kind of
Yeah, that's where I would start.
Yeah, okay. Just to kind of get a general feel for where that is. Let's go ahead and feel that once or twice, kind of looking at the stick, and then I'll just go ahead and do one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that feels solid. And for me, who we talked a little bit before, like I tend to get a little underplaned. So for me, this isn't like that drastic, but for some people,
this feels like there's no way they could get under the stick.
yeah, exactly. And so any other little thoughts or feels, just I like that little checkpoint in terms of having the club head here, right, when I'm working in here just as a feel piece. And then I'm just kind of starting short and slow until I kind of own that piece, right, before we do the next one. So let me do one more with that. So I'm kind of feeling that here. I'm feeling where that club head is at last parallel, on or just inside my toe line. Maybe having some general feels of, oh wow, what do I need to do to kind of get the club here?
So the general feels are you're going to feel like you're almost maxing out the extension of your right wrist to be able to get that club there.
Yep.
And so in order to do that, you're going to have really soft hands and arms.
Got it, okay. And that would be for this being bent back.
Yeah, that's going to be bent back almost to the max.
Yep.
And that allows you to get the face where you want it and the shaft back where you want it.
Everything good,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So as I start to work back here, I like that a lot here. Getting a general sense, I'll do one more little pose and then just get an idea of where that is here. Yeah, excellent. And so, you know, the way I look at this, Milo, which is similar to kind of the 3-step that I love that you do there, is you're kind of check marking a box here, right? It doesn't have to be perfect at this phase. What we're doing here to take your game to the next level is check mark the box that your face is good before you start this, and then check mark the box that you can do this.
Yeah.
We can get into the specifics of things kind of as we go to perfect the ball flight pattern, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So once I do this and I get semi-proficient at it, there is a combo drill, but first we're going to take a look at that next phase, the rotation part by itself. Okay, so the third part of this is the rotation. Now I've got this weird thing in my belt loops here, Milo. We've got a stick up here.
Yep.
Can you walk us through what the best drill here would be for this rotation piece?
So what this drill is, basically we've got a alignment stick in your belt loops.
Yep.
Tells us where your hips or pelvis are in space.
Yep.
So if they're pointing up the target line, your hips are pointing up the target line. If they're closed, they're closed. If they're open, you're going to hit that stick behind you.
Yep.
So basically I've set up, that stick's on about a 45-degree angle. You need your hips turned almost about 45 degrees
Yep.
to be able to get over and hit that.
Got it, okay.
Okay.
So if I'm here at my setup position, I like to repeat things. I have this in my belt loops, general reference point of where my hips are pointed. And then the stick behind me, I would say is kind of like close to my heel line.
Yeah, it's
just
a little
in general.
behind your heel line even.
A little behind my heel
Yep.
line. And it might be, guys, like a foot, a little over a foot
Yeah.
in front of general of where that stick should be. Simplicity. So on or just behind my heel line, about a foot in front. The idea is going to be for me to get this stick, I'm stealing your thunder here, this stick to that one, and then would you give kind of like a checkpoint of when?
So I want that stick to get, I want you to, the sticks to touch before the club face touches the ball.
Ooh, I like that. Sticks to touch before the club face touches the ball. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that little one there. And so same sort of reference piece of here of like, hey, I'm probably starting with shorties, right? And I'm just kind of from here, maybe even at a pause position, trying to feel, what do I need to feel like to get the stick to hit that? And I'm gonna kind of exaggerate it. As I'm doing this here, I feel like my arms and hands aren't doing anything. They're really only kind of getting down to the ball because I'm doing the turning piece. That's my sensation as I do this. So it's really almost all my lead hip, and I feel some things with my trail hip, but my lead hip kind of working down and around is what I'm feeling, and I'm trying to get there before I get.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that a lot. And so I'm just gonna hit a couple, right? And then we're gonna kind of assess and adjust. So let's go ahead with a little 9-iron and do a half one. Now I'm gonna do one little pose beforehand just to feel that again. What do I need to feel like? Good. One more. Good, and let's do a little half one.
Your sticks missed.
Yeah, and that felt to me like good and different, right?
Yeah.
That feels to me, whether I did it or not, and obviously we're big proponents of recording your swing, right? Shout out Live View Golf, to be able to see if I actually did this or not. And I would maybe look and see, wow, I felt like I got there, my hands were all the way back here, but they really weren't, right? Or vice versa, where I did do it excellent, and maybe make some tweaks to the timing of it or the exaggeration. Cool, so let's do that one more time. I'm gonna take that as a 10 out of 10 for you. Say Coach Milo liked it, I think. Good, so sticks touch before the club face touches the ball. I know I went a lot longer on that one, but I like that. And I think it's the best combo drill, and titled that way because I think that. I think it's the best combo drill in that it hits 2 out of the 3 that in general golfer should do. Get the shaft and swing direction adjusted, get the rotation, put those two together, right? And it's the best combo drill because it gives you the best feedback as to how to do them both.
Yeah.
Right?
When we put these two together, it definitely shows you if you're rotating and if the shaft is where we want it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do just that. Let's put these two drills together. All right, Milo, so let's put these together. This is the combo drill. This is the kind of shaft or swing direction part back here. We've got the rotation piece, and we're gonna kind of just follow the same procedure, but with them together. And so I'm gonna take my normal setup position, and same sort of piece as when I'm practicing, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna feel where the shaft goes in space, and I'm gonna get a sensation that that stick is getting back to this stick, for me in the rehearsal, well before the ball gets there.
Yes.
But then when I'm actually doing it, feeling like it's getting there about the same time or before the
slightly
ball
before the ball, before the club hits the ball.
Okay, perfect. So let's do one more rehearsal, and then we'll put these pieces together. So under this stick, and then the little rotation piece. Yeah, good, and that one felt good for me too. So we're putting those together. Let me do one more with that. And then when you're practicing this or you have someone doing it, obviously we're gonna go shorter and slower. I'm making big swings here, but you're probably recording, right, again, to kind of say the same
Generally,
thing?
I'm gonna video, 2 or 3 shots at a time.
Yeah.
Go take a look. Generally, I actually like full swings, slow.
Full swing slow, got it, okay.
Yeah, so I have them doing a lot of, I call it Tai Chi golf. So they're they make great big swings, but they have to learn how to do it slow so that they go through the whole range of motion and get it right.
Yes. And then when you watch it on video, you kind of make some little minor tweaks within the same framework of what you're working on. Exactly. Not going to a wholly new different thing, but maybe making some tweaks within the same deal. Let's do one more. So up here like this. Club shaft is coming underneath this stick, getting this stick back here before impact. Let's go ahead and hit one like that. That felt like the best one so far. That was me slowing it down a little bit there. I don't know if it looked like it or not, but so best combo drill, I really mean that. I really, really think without seeing individual particular pieces, anyone who shoots 80, 90, 100 plus, these are two pieces beyond the club face control that should be in there. The stick behind, we explained that very thoroughly. The stick in front, putting those two together, assessing it and making some tweaks on it. So love that. Milo, thanks again for having us out, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Go check out Milo's channel, Golfletics. We'll put a link in the description down below. A ton of really good videos. And if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and watch both of these above. It's gonna really help you learn more about the pieces that we talked about here. Also, if you did like the video, do us a favor, helps us out. Click the like button down below, click the notification bell so you know when videos are coming out, and please subscribe. Thank you guys.